What if the number you've been refreshing every 5 minutes, the one that spikes your heart rate when it goes up and ruins your afternoon, I shouldn't laugh when it doesn't, has almost nothing to do with whether your channel is actually working? Because here's what nobody tells new creators. Views are a symptom. They're not the diagnosis. And if you've been treating that single number as the verdict on your content, your channel, and honestly some days your self-worth, you've been reading the wrong line on the chart the entire time, my friend. Let me ask you something before we go further. When you check your analytics, what's the very first number your eyes go to? Right? For almost everyone, it's views, maybe subscribers, maybe that little upward or downward arrow next to your latest video. And there's nothing wrong with noticing those numbers, but here's the problem. Those numbers tell you that something happened. They don't tell you what it meant. A video can get 10,000 views and create zero connection. A video can get 300 views and create a relationship that lasts years. If you're only looking at the first number, you have no way of knowing which one you just made. Here's the first question worth sitting with. Have you ever had a video underperform on views, but overperform on comments, replies, or messages from people who said it actually helped them? If you've been creating for any length of time, the answer is almost certainly yes. And that gap between what the surface level numbers say and what actually happened in someone's life because of your content is the entire thing we're talking about today. Vanity metrics measure exposure. Connection metrics measure impact. And only one of those builds a channel that lasts. So here's the second question. If you had to choose between a video that reached 100,000 people who forgot it by tomorrow, or a video that reached 1,000 people who changed something because of it, which one actually built your business? Most creators, if they're honest, know the real answer. But the analytics dashboard doesn't make that answer easy to see. It's built to highlight the big, exciting top-line numbers because those numbers are simple, satisfying, and easy to compare. Depth doesn't fit neatly into a single bold number at the top of the page. Depth lives in the comments. It lives in the replies. It lives in the messages people send you privately, the ones that never show up on any chart at all. Think about what that means practically. If your sense of success is being shaped entirely by what the dashboard chooses to show you first, you're letting the platform decide what winning means instead of deciding for yourself. Hi, I'm Dan at Being Lifted Media. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share this video. Here's a question worth asking honestly. When was the last time you went back and actually read your comments? Not to moderate them, not to reply quickly and move on, but to really read what people are telling you. Comments are one of the most underused sources of data a creator has. Not because every comment is necessarily meaningful, but because buried in there are the signals that views can never give you. Someone's telling you a specific moment in your video changed how they think about something. Someone's saying they've watched it 3 times because it finally made sense. Someone's sharing their own story because something you said gave them permission to. None of that shows up as a number on your dashboard. All of it is data. It's just a different kind of data. The kind that tells you not how many people saw something, but how deeply it landed. What would it look like if, instead of asking how many people saw this, you start asking how many people were changed by this? Even slightly. That's not a soft feel-good reframe. It's a strategic one. Because here's what happens when you start prioritizing depth. Your content changes. You stop optimizing purely for the hook that gets the most clicks, and you start optimizing for the moment that makes someone feel understood. And here's the part that surprises people. That shift doesn't shrink your channel, it grows it. Because depth is what turns a viewer into a subscriber into a fan into someone who shares your work with other people, unprompted, because it actually meant something to them. Ask yourself this, of the people who've shared your content with someone else, do you think they did it because of the view count or because something about it felt worth passing along. Nobody shares a video because it has a lot of views. They share it because it gave them something, a laugh, an answer, a feeling of being seen. That's connection. And connection is contagious in a way that raw exposure never is. Here's where this becomes practical. Start tracking a different set of numbers, not instead of views, but alongside them. How many comments include a personal story or a specific result? How many messages do you get from people saying a video helped them with something real? How many people mention weeks or months later that a particular video stuck with them? These numbers are slower to gather and harder to put on a graph, but they're the numbers that actually predict whether your channel will still matter to people a year from now. Are you building a channel that's optimized to be seen, or a channel that's optimized to be remembered? Because those are not the same goal, and they don't always overlap. A channel built purely for exposure can disappear the moment trends change. But a channel built on real connection, the kind people remember, return to, and recommend, that carries its own momentum. Your view count will always be there blinking at you, demanding attention, but it's not the whole story. The whole story is in the comments you haven't read yet, the messages you've glanced past, the moments where someone, somewhere, felt a little less alone because of something you made. How cool is that? Drop it in the comments below. What's one comment or message you received that mattered more to you than any view count ever has? Because that might be the real number you've been looking for all along. Thanks everyone. Have an amazing day. See you in the next one.